Hey, good morning, everybody. Sarasota Tim coming to you from the gym here at the parking lot. I got a nice coffee this morning from Human Bean, B-E-A-N. It's a very catchy little place they got here. They're like a Dunkin' Donuts. There are a few of them around town here. They got good coffee. $3. I could have went to McDonald's and got myself a senior coffee, but these people give you two chocolate-covered espresso beans that are delicious. So I got the steamed milk, so the coffee was not cold. And that's what some of you, one of you told me in comments, like if I go to Starbucks, the reason I don't like them is the coffee is always cold when I get cream and sugar. So anyway, it is delicious coffee. I mean, really, it's called the Human Bean. It's so hot they had to put this thing on there, and that's what it is. Yeah, and it's delicious. I mean, it's delicious. The first cup of coffee is always so good in the morning. I mean, that might be the best cup of coffee I've ever drank in my life. Really. So good. So I got the videos up. I'm going to have to investigate this T-Mobile, or it's just that spot I'm in. But this morning I tried to upload a video that wouldn't upload yesterday, and it went like that. So what's the deal? The, what do you call, Oatman? That was a blast. I hope the video came out okay for you guys. We saw a lot more donkeys than I actually put in the video. We stopped a couple of times. You can't miss them because when you see a car stop, you know it's a donkey. And they're way outside of town. So, word to the wise, if you go to Oatman and you see the donkey, stop. They're not going to be running around inside the town because they run them off, number one, probably, but they wouldn't even want to go in there. They're not skittish because they'll come right up to you to eat. But I'm sure they don't like, going around with all these people in the stores and stuff. It's a very Western town, a very truly old buildings. It's not a facade. It's really a good old Western town. If you're a Harley rider, there's plenty of apparel there for vests and different jackets and things you can get. I was looking for a cowboy vest, and they were all pretty much Harley. Either they had a patch on that said Harley Davidson, or they were a heavier for riding and, keeping you warm. And I'm looking for a very thin, just a dressier, over my shirt vest. So maybe Boot Barn, I got $30 coming to me in rewards that I should have the next few days. The girls told me over there that maybe I can buy a vest. They may have vests. I don't know if they do. But I got $30 towards something. I'll buy another pair of jeans or that boot puller. That's what I need. So, I won't lie. Boots, when people say, those are the most comfortable shoes you ever wore in your life. Baloney. Especially the ones with the pointed toes and the stiletto heel. The old cowboy boot. I remember I had a few of those. They're awful. But these square toe ones I bought, these Pythons, while they're absolutely comfortable to go dancing or whatever for a while, or I guess until they break in, they were not that comfortable after wearing them and standing in them for some time. I mean, really. And then my Go to Hell work boots, those Ariats, well, they're both Ariats, but I wonder if those Pythons are Ariats. Anyway, I got those insoles put in there that she sold me, which you got to have because I was slopping around in there. If you walk downhill, my whole foot was just sliding like an inch. And so she said, most men go down a size. So she sold me these insoles, and they're great. But after I wore the other boots, my feet were kind of sore, and I put them on to walk around Oatman for knock-around boots. I didn't want to wear my Pythons schlepping around and all that. So my feet were swollen, I guess, and sore already. And so those insoles that took up all that slack, I kind of wish they were out. I wanted my feet to be like, but they did. After I rested and took the boots off, I was great. After I took the boots off, I was great. But no, they're very good. You just can't. You can't go hiking. They're not walking boots. Don't go take your walks in the morning in your cowboy boots. No. Wear your proper shoes for the proper occasion. Otherwise, I do love those boots. I want to thank those girls again for all their assistance and help. And Amanda was especially helpful through the whole process. I mean, she had to go back and forth at least 10 times for pants and knew what I needed, what I'd already tried, what worked, gave me her opinion on the stack. Beyond helpful. I mean, really, she got involved. So if you go to Boot Barn in Laughlin, Nevada, any of those girls can help you. But Amanda, I think she runs a show in there. She was especially helpful. So kudos to her. And I love my boots. They're new. And I walked in them a little bit too much, I guess. But that's how I broke those work boots in. I just lived in them for a couple of days and I did quite a bit of walking. But because they were kind of roomy, my feet didn't hurt because I didn't fill them up. And I love my inserts. It really has changed the whole thing because they were too big. Anyway, so yesterday after Oatman, I took Tim to Oreo's Mexican restaurant. And you're not going to believe this story. You're just not going to believe it. All right? Went in there, and I've been telling about how great this breakfast is. I gotta lay off that stuff, man. They give you so much. It's so good. Anyway, best Mexican restaurant anywhere in this area, I'll promise you. And you're going to find good Mexican food in this whole state. But it's especially good there. It really is, folks. Best I ever ate in my life. I go in there. It's my treat, my time. And we ordered, Tim got a chicken burrito. It's this big around. He only ate half. He took his other half to go. I don't leave anything on my plate. I ate it all. Hold on. I saw the young man when I said, hey, how you doing? He came over. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I couldn't post that video because of the music that was playing. It was copyright. They blocked it. I mean, right away. I said, it was only Spanish music, but I guess your Spanish music you play is very popular. He goes, oh, yeah. He says, oh, just let me know. Just let me know. And come again, and I'll turn the radio off. We'll turn the music down. He was so helpful. He was so nice. But he saw the other videos. They're watching my other videos. And they said, the boss came over. I'm sorry. It's early in the morning. I'll get it out in a minute. And this other guy comes over and he says, hey, we saw your video and we'll turn the music down. Because he heard me talking about how I couldn't post the video, but still how good the food was there. And that video was excellent. It really was. I mean, I showed you how to eat this food and what it looked like. Yes, there's a way you eat it with a tortilla. I was taught that way by a Mexican years ago, and I love it. You roll your tortilla and you hold it in your hand and you eat it like bread. You don't put anything in it. You don't make tacos when you order a plate. If you order a burrito and a taco, it comes in it. Otherwise, your tortillas that come on the side. Anyway, I'll show you one day. So he comes over. Wait till you hear this. Wait till you hear this. This is amazing. And he says, oh, yeah, we'll turn the music down. You heard that part already, right? And it was a different guy. And he said, somebody that saw your video or something came in here, a large group, and they took care of you. This is comped. I said, what? He said, yeah, this is all comped. You're taken care of. I said, really? No kidding? And here's who it was. I know it. You remember Martin, guys? I made a video on Mr. Martin. He came in that Audi 4 or 5 days ago. He came rolling up and parked next to me there at the casino, and he got out, and I started chatting him up, as I do everybody. And he took a few minutes and spent the time and talked to me, and we talked about Social Security, and he made some very funny and valid points about aging and Social Security and a few things, and where he was from and how he's traveling around, and he was going to, help his grandkids spend their inheritance. He wants to see what they're doing with it, while he's alive. He don't want to have to wonder what they're going to do with it after he's gone. And he was just a very cool guy, 76 years young, talking about, I want to live now while I can still run up the mountain, collecting at 62 and all. Anyway, while all this stuff that he told me was in my head, I made a video about him. And you guys might have seen it. You can go back and watch it. And it's something about a 76-year-old is in the title. His name is Martin. He came back. He wanted to know if there was anywhere he could get. He was by himself, went into the casino, came back, and then he came back again and wanted to know if there was anywhere I could recommend to get something to eat. David, over at Double Shot Coffee Place, where I made a video and interviewed him, who's trying to get his business going, and I'm trying to help him out, over in Laughlin, in the residential area, off Needles Highway. Go see Double Shot Coffee Shop. I told David, I said, there's an Umberto's over here. It's one of those small Mexican. That's where I got the 2 burritos, the chorizo and the machaca. They were great. They were great. And I've eaten at many Umberto's. I think they are a franchise, but it's real. It's real. So I told that to David, and David said, well, when I want real Mexican food, my favorite, he said, is, not that they weren't real, but when I want good Mexican food, my favorite is Orioles over in Bullhead City. I said, really? I said, all right. So I made note of it. I passed that information on, even before going there, to Martin. And Martin took his grandchildren, his wife, and I guess there are other family members that are traveling with them. They're out doing some travel, because at Orioles, they told me when my meal was comped that a big group came in. So Martin came back by after dinner that night. He did not say anything that he left money to pay for my meal when I went there, because I told him, I haven't even been there yet, but I'm going. And then when he came back and told me it was good, it was really good. Thanks for the review. Thanks for the recommendation, because we loved it. It was great. And if you go there, believe me, just tell him your name. You're taken care of. He didn't say, I left something for you. I just thought he was saying that we're here because Sarasota Tim recommended us. And he just said a good word for me. And I thought, well, that's very nice. That's very nice. And it was a few days. I didn't go right away. It wasn't until the breakfast that morning that the video couldn't be uploaded, that you did not see. And the young man that waited on me, nice guy. He didn't know anything about Martin, because when I found out about me being comped yesterday with Tim, the guy that I was talking to, the different guy, waiter, I think he's the boss or the owner or something there, family member, he said that the waiter that served me on breakfast that morning wasn't in that night when Martin and his family came in. So he didn't know about that I have a comp meal coming to me, that Martin left money. And so it was all a big surprise. And it was very fortuitous, because when we left Oatman yesterday, I told Tim, I said, hey, Tim, my treat, you want to get something in here, like a little snack or a lemonade or anything, that's in the little town there. There wasn't much in way of food, I don't think. It was mostly shops and stuff. And then I started thinking, after we saw the gunfight, I said, well, we're about done here, seeing all we need to see. You want some Mexican food? And I said, you like Mexican food? Now, Tim's kind of particular. He don't eat the bacon and stuff like that in the morning when I make my breakfast. So I thought, oh, is he one of these picky guys? You like Mexican food, Tim? He goes, oh, yeah, one of my favorites. Well, let's go to Orioles, my treat. This place, because I wanted to go there again. I love that place. And we get there, and that other guy comes over, tells me the story that the young kid didn't know about the other guys. You're all comped. So, I said, I'm talking a lot, right? Best cup of coffee I ever had in my life. Martin To you and your lovely wife, your beautiful grandchildren, and all your family, God bless you. And thank you so much. And so when we had our meal yesterday, and he said, you're comped, the guy that's like the owner or something, I expected, to pay for Tim. So we waited. I said, we'll take the check. And we had to ask somebody because the guy that told me I was comped wasn't around. And so I asked somebody else, would you tell our waiter, we'll take the check. And he was over there at the cash register, actually, and he looked over, he goes, so the guy comes back, he goes, you're good. I go, both of us? He goes, yeah. So, I mean, I had carnitas. If you don't know, I always get carnitas when I go to a Mexican restaurant. It's a plate dinner. It's roasted pork, beans and rice, pico de gallo, just a little salad, corn tortillas, never get flour. And it was a huge plate. And it's actually fried slightly too. Real authentic. And this was. It had some little crunch on it. It was the best carnitas I ever ate in my life. That meal has been $18 almost anywhere in the country. I think they were a little more proud of it there. I think it might have been a little bit more, or right about that. At least $20. And his burrito may not have, their prices are kind of like the same no matter what you get over there. So with tip, tax, and delivery and destination charges, I mean, that had to be over $40 worth of food between the two of us. So Martin, thank you so much again. That was very, very kind of you. What a thing. He comes back, he doesn't even say anything, like to make sure, hey, don't forget, I left some money down there. He knew I'd go, and it was a surprise. And I didn't even get it on the breakfast because the kid didn't know. I paid for that, which is fine. I would have paid yesterday. I'm going to pay again before I leave here because that place is awesome. I don't care what it costs. I'm eating there. I love that place. And but to find that gift, to find that generosity was a real blessing. And Tim thanks you too. Tim too. Tim from Apple Valley. He loved his. He could only eat half. And but that's just my story. I just wanted to shout out to Martin about what the generosity and the kindness. He could have got out of his car and walked on by. We talked about this before. Hey, how you doing? Or nothing. Look down. I don't need to talk to you. That's not the way I do it. That's the way I tell you. When you see people, say good morning, good afternoon. How are you doing? How's your day going? How are they treating you? Strike up conversations. People want to talk. People need to talk more these days. And when you meet somebody, you just never know what's going on in their life. And maybe a kind word from you, the fact that they will remember the rest of the day, that they did meet one person that day that spoke to them or was kind to them in the midst of the sea of evil out there and road rage and things that you encounter every day that we see, which is why it's got everybody so coward and, don't want to talk to anybody. Oh, God, don't hurt me. Don't bite me. People are naturally benevolent. People are naturally really kind. And I learned a trick yesterday. I'm going to switch gears on you. I'm sorry. Let me hang on. When I mentioned the road rage deal, someone told me a trick. And I want everybody to start trying this. Because that has to stop. People, I don't, that's my pet peeve. I don't like when people think that they own the road. You have no right to be on the road. Well, I got my phone up there, but let's pretend this is a phone. And you get the road rage and you're not going fast enough for them, or you're in the wrong lane and they think that they own it or whatever, and they want to go around, or they speed, or they cut you off, and then they get up next to you and they want to give you the finger and all that. Instead of you reacting the same way, don't react that way. You're not responsible for people's actions. You're only responsible for your reactions. Grab your cell phone and look at them and go like that. And like you're looking for their tag number. They don't want to get in trouble. They'll just take right off. But you don't need to drop to their level and get in the road rage with them. Just pick up your phone like you're calling in on them. And that'll get them out of your way. That'll get them up. Go bother somebody else. So that's a little, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I was told that yesterday. I thought, oh, that's a pretty good idea. Not that I'm encountering that every day, all the time, but I have. And I should have done that instead of doing what I did. Anyway, I'm going to go in, wash the sleep off, get a little workout in, come back, make some breakfast, make some more coffee, open up the galley, and it's going to be 84 degrees. It's warming up. And 56 tonight. And I was telling Isaac yesterday, the weather is 4 climates here. You have this really chilly in the morning, like right before sunrise. Then you have this coolness. And then there's a peak part of the day where you're like, hey, where's the air conditioning or where's some shade? And it's a short-lived thing, but during the time it's like, oh, it's hot. Because you had 2 levels of coolness. Now you get to this like burning up heat. It's not burning up, but kind of warm. And then when that heater, I call it the heater, when that heater gets a little bit low or behind a mountain or behind one of these casino buildings or whatever, you can feel like there's no humidity. The coolness returning. Because, see, all the heat escapes. There's no clouds. And it's just the most lovely weather to experience, especially when you're out doing what I'm doing. You're being outside all the time. You're feeling it versus being inside a house for the most part of the day till you go to the store. Then you get in your car. Then you go inside the store. But being outside and seeing all the terrain, it's really, that's a byproduct of living and traveling like this. And, it's like, that just gave me another thought to talk to you guys. The nomadic or the RV, whatever word you want to call it, traveling type person, not overseas or cruises or stuff like that. RVing. It's like boating. When you're in Florida, everybody that has a house that has a pool has a boat. People have more boats than they do swimming pools. Everybody's got one. There's a sea of them down there. It's the boating capital, I guess. And they're all up and down New York too, and all across, the eastern seaboard, California. Boating is huge, if you think about it. Millions and millions and millions of people own boats, and they do it. And they don't do it every day, and it's like the RVs. Some people on boats do live on them and do a lot more of it daily than people that like to let them sit in a storage yard. But RVing, your eyes are going to be open. This is not a low life, low class. This is as fun as boating. This is awesome. This is probably more awesome than boating. This traveling, you can't go on the land with a boat. When you take an RV, you find yourself going to the most beautiful places our country has. Once you get through Houston and New Orleans. But we have a beautiful country. And to be able to travel, and when you meet like-minded people, and you don't have to be in an RV park or a campground. This casino parking lot, I've never seen it any busier. It's getting busier the last 2 days. And I continually meet people. They walk by, they see the little galley open, they see me. How you doing? Everybody's like, you're an RVer, I'm an RVer. Like seeing people in church. You talk. Like we were talking a few minutes ago. You got to talk to people. Even if you're not RVing, you're going into the gym. You're going into your grocery store. Talk to people. Say hello. Be friendly. Be an extrovert. That's how you're going to make friends. You won't believe how many people are from the same area or have been to the same places as you. It's a small world. But the RVing thing has opened my eyes that it's a really, and then all these people living in them. There's a sea of them around here, of RV parks, where they stay. until it gets to be triple digits here and they blow out. They go back north somewhere. But they all come here from the northern areas. They go to Quartzsite. They go here. They go to Yuma. They're everywhere in RVs. Instead of like in Florida, people come down. They got huge dollars. And they got these beautiful, on the golf course, mansions. And they're not there in the summer. That's their winter home. So there's all levels of people doing the north and the south, the snowbird thing. It's just different levels. It's like you go to the desert with a sand toy. You either got a motorcycle, a quad, a side-by-side, a dirt bike, but they're all doing it. They're all doing the same thing. RVing, whether you got a little teardrop or you got a fifth wheel or you got a big Class A diesel pusher, we're all doing the same thing. And there's, do just different style, different comfort levels, different machines, but it's all RVing. And it's a fantastic life for people that have time, no debt, a little bit of money coming in every month. They can afford it. They go on the cheap. They stay at places. You don't have to stay at truck stops and stuff, but they got everywhere around here is like $500 a month, $300 a month. A month to stay in your RV or mobile home. And it's out there, folks. Even in these inflationary times, it's out there for you. So if you are tired of the rat race and you're tired of the urban living, and you're tired of the crowds, and you quit your prison job, and you want to start living free, and you want to start experiencing good quality foods and different cultures and see different things and wild donkeys and just everywhere you go, and when you get out of your car, you're looking at, your eyes are seeing, you're always feeling like no humidity, and the weather, you can't help from notice it. And everything is just coming into your life that you didn't have because you were in this polluted, congested, dramatic glob for 40 years. Check it out and see if you like it. Go off for a while. Start small. Buy a little teardrop. I keep pointing to it. Keep thinking it's back there. And go out and try it. I highly recommend it. And I've only been on one trip and I'm already, like I met Isaac, who showed you his Class B. And he had to get back, like I got to get back from my doctor. He had to get back for some things with his business and his personal life that kept him from being, he was on a long leash, or a short leash, maybe I should say. And so he's from Colorado and he's going around, but he had to get back. And now he's talking about going to Maine himself. And so I'm thinking that not only to make YouTube content, folks, but just for my own burning desire now, that all my life I've been hearing from you, from others, from TV, about all these places. I've never been north of North Carolina. And I've had so many of you tell me about, oh, you got to come to Virginia. You got to come to Maine. You got to come to Vermont. You got to come to Michigan, the Great Lakes. What am I going to do? Live and die and say my circle was right here in a zip code, or over here and over here? I went to 3 places. I lived in that state and that state. No. You meet people all the time in RVing. They've been to every state in America, even Canada, gone to Alaska. And who knows what I might do? All it takes is gas money. I can find a way to go on the cheap. And I'm just so excited about it, folks. And I hope that if you can't, or it's a while before you can, that you can live vicariously through me. I'm going to bring you the good side of what it's about. I'm not going to ever, disparage this kind of life. This is a great life. And if I'm staying in a parking lot at a casino, it's your attitude. It's all them other people. It's packed with people right now. Big Prevos, big Class A diesel pushers, people with a lot of money, a lot more money than me. They're sitting there. So when I read these things about, oh, you're not over there, you're not over there. So what? So what? Inside your camper and out there cooking and all the scenery and things to do and the river and all that, you're right there. That boondocking thing, I don't know if I would be into that. Maybe Quartzsite where there's lots of boondockers. I like population. It kind of goes against what I just said a minute ago, but I don't want to be by myself in the desert. I saw a few yesterday going to Oatman. They're sitting out there by his or herself. They were just off the road 100 yards or two, and but you know, he stood out. Like, look, there's a shiny motorhome in that desert just sitting there. And you can have your mind changer and all that, but why ever put yourself vulnerable? There's safety in numbers. I like that. These people that like to boondock, I know it kind of goes against what people are going to think after saying that, but that's not me. No. And I'm not a scaredy cat. I got my protection. I just don't want to elicit any unnecessary. I can find free or I can find cheap. And I like to meet people and talk to them. I don't want to sit there by myself in the BLM where I'm just never going to see anybody. That's just not, that's probably more of it than anything. Is I want to be around some people. I like people. And I think that's about it. It's a long video. I need to get the sleep washed off of me. Get a little workout in, get that breakfast going. It's going to be a beautiful day. And I want to say, I just can't say enough how Martin didn't say anything, and I ended up going there coincidentally. It was so fortuitous, and that was the best meal I ever had in my life. So, you know, even that breakfast would have been great, you know, to be comped, but to go there with Tim and to talk about the place, the chips come out hot, and the salsa is so good. Try out Orioles, right next to Walmart here in Bullhead City, and it's not spelled with an E. It's Oreo, OROILS apostrophe S. Something like that. I can't spell. And I don't know math very well. But one thing I can do is crush it.